Welcome to Vinyl Poetry Lounge, where legendary lyrics spark poetic fires. I'm your hostess for the next hour, Jana Lopez. So kick back, relax, and let the words carry you home. Hello, and so good to be here with you. Welcome to Vinyl Poetry Lounge. I'm your hostess, Jana Lopez, and I'm so grateful to be here with you tonight to talk about things I love talking about, which include poetry, music lyrics, meaning, hope, frustration, a little bit of happiness, and all the things in between. And music is one of those things that no matter who you are or where you are, they unify us. They keep us together, and they keep us tethered to place, people, times in our lives. And I think that's why I love this so much. And that's why I'm here, is because I want to give you a chance to have a break from all the noise, all the chaos, all the clutter, all of the artificial intelligence going on that's being crammed down our throats every single day, telling us what to think and feel everywhere we go and everything we do. And some things just need to stay analog. Some things just need to stay real. And so that's why music, that's why poetry, that's why lyrics, that's why here, that's why me, that's why now. And so it gives me great pleasure, and it's a true honor to be able to offer this time and this space. And if you're not watching live stream, but you're actually maybe tuning in at some other point and going through the library of all of my episodes, and you come across this one, I just want you to know that keeping it real time, real life is great if you're here with me. And if you're watching it later, that's perfect too. The moments live on. So I'm glad that we have this opportunity to be human and stay connected. And so in my day-to-day life, I am a book writing coach. I help people start and finish books of their dreams. And I'm all about creating places and spaces for people to tap into their expression. And I'm also a poet in residence at Creighton University's School of Medicine. So I teach poetry and help really sacrificing physicians and medical students learn how to stay connected to themselves by way of poetry. But it all comes down to expression for me. And so I'm going to ask you right now to just take a moment and, kind of do an inventory, if you will, of how do you take care of your heart? How do you take care of your conflict and your emotions? How do you help yourself manage stress and overwhelm? What are some of the things that you do? Do you cook? Do you paint? Do you write? Do you walk? Do you run? Do you meditate? Do you hike? We need those things right now. We need to know what our things are. We need to know what we have available to us. So I'm curious. Hi, Patty. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And so Patty has shared that you walk in the mornings and focus on the wildlife. That's such a great way to start a day. And it's such a great way to take care of your well-being, is admiring the beauty and nature and how the simple things like flowers and birds and bees can make us so happy. So I love that. And so this is what it's about, expression. And so what I want to say is that listening to music can be a form of release and creativity and expression, because embedded in these songs that we've grown up with, embedded in these anthems and music that we've listened to growing up, are these amazing lyrics that hold a wealth of poetry, a treasure trove of poetry for us. And so I think that's really cool, to try to make old things new again by reimagining and re-engaging and listening to them again. And so that's what the lyrics here are all about. That's what these songs are all about. That's why I present the songs that I present, because I want you to be able to hear them and go, wow, that was always there and I didn't even know it. So I like to give you, as little gifts, little treasures of moments where you're like surprised and inspired. And so that is a way, listening to music is certainly a way to do that. And so tonight you're in for a treat. I think I'm inspired, and we're going to talk about Purple Rain and a little bit about how the history of this song came about, and a little bit about a lot about the lyrics, and even the title, Purple Rain, is such a great title for a song. So I'm going to take a sip of water, and while we're doing that, Jared, my amazing producer, is going to put up a picture of Prince, and we're going to start the conversation about Purple Rain. So badass, such a hero. Oh, how I miss you, Prince. So Purple Rain is regarded as Prince's signature song and one of the most defined rock ballads of the 1980s. And it was released in 1984 as the title track of the album Purple Rain and the film Purple Rain. And it became a commercial and an artistic milestone for Prince because it was very quintessential Prince. It blended rock, gospel, soul, pop, and it blended all of these sounds together into this haunting, emotional anthem that, of course, has endured for decades. And so Purple Rain was released just about coming up on the anniversary, July 27th, 1984. And it arrived 1 month after the soundtrack from the album. And so the album was released June 25th, 1984. The film came out July 27th, 1984. And so Purple Rain was a song written by Prince, but he had started developing this song in 1983 before the film itself had fully been conceived. And so what was so interesting about this song is that Prince initially envisioned this song as a country influenced song. To kind of test the waters, he sent an early instrumental version to Stevie Nicks, and he had asked her if she would write the lyrics. Stevie Nicks later admitted that she was so overwhelmed by the beauty and the scale of the music that she declined writing the lyrics, simply saying that she could never do it justice. And so Prince then brought the song to the Revolution, the members of his band. And during one rehearsal, the band reportedly played this song for 6 straight hours and kept shaping and forming and finessing it to where it became its final form. So The album Purple Rain, look at this gorgeous cover. There's so much here on this cover. I just love it. So there's all the flowers in the background, and there's Prince just looking so special. And so most people thought this was like a drawn or painted image, but it's actually a photograph taken by photographer Douglas Kirkland, who was one of Hollywood's most celebrated photographers. He was well known for doing some interesting celebrity images, including Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn. So he had a great reputation for these iconic, legendary types of images. And so for Purple Rain, Kirkland photographed Prince sitting on his custom purple motorcycle, a Honda CM400, a Honda-matic built for the film. And the image was captured during these promotional sessions that they were trying to gather to start promoting the film and the album. And so inside the album was also really interesting. The packaging was designed by a creative team at Warner Records, working with some of Prince's team members, but Prince really wanted to be involved in the look and feel of the album's visual identity, and also with the visual identity of the movie. And so he really wanted this dramatic photographic image that would reinforce the film's mystery and mood and romance and sort of theatrical element. And the cover became, there's the inside cover. All right, so as we were saying, just taking a look at it, look how beautiful everything inside is. It matches the outside of the album. And so the cover became iconic because it combines several visual elements that came to define Prince's image. The purple motorcycle, his flamboyant purple attire, the smoke and the soft lighting, creating this dreamlike atmosphere. And of course, the purple colors and the hints of other colors that really became inseparable from Prince's identity as an artist. And just the color alone is always associated with Prince. And so Daria, hey, I'm glad you're here. Daria shares, I was fortunate to have visited his home in Minnesota. Nothing short of amazing. His outfits, cars, and plentiful awards on display. I got to see his purple suit, which was tiny. I know, he is so tiny. And his ashes are located on site as well, a must see. I agree. I would love to go and check it out. So thank you for sharing that with us, and that you had such a good experience seeing all of the artifacts that make Prince and his ashes, right? So, so let's talk a little bit about, oh, hi, Barry. Good to see you. I love that you love what I'm doing. I'm glad you're here with me. And so let's talk about the recording of Purple Rain. So it's a famous live recording, as they say. It's one of the song's greatest achievements is that it's a master recording largely through a live performance, which is so Prince. I love this. So on August 3rd, 1983, they performed at First Avenue nightclub in Minneapolis. And that performance became the foundation for the album version of Purple Rain. He later edited it and shortened it a little bit, but pretty much he wanted it to sound live, raw, and connected. Like Prince was always about connecting with his audience. And he was such a showman, but he was so dedicated and had so much passion in every time he was on the stage, just electrifying. And so for all you people that are younger that did not have the chance to grow up listening to Prince or even have a chance to see him, all I can say is I'm sorry, because I mean, I got to see Prince 3 times, and those will go down as some of the greatest experiences musically of my life, for sure. One of the shows, he played every single instrument. He went around, he played the drums, he played the bass, the guitar, the trombone, like he just played everything. He was so talented. So I'm curious, for everybody who's watching and listening, what do you think Purple Rain means? What do you think about the title Purple Rain? Do you, even if you don't know what it means, what does it evoke? What does it create? Because part of why I'm here is to kind of help you connect to the sensibility around poetry and sort of the poetic aesthetic. And so what do you imagine? What does Purple Rain evoke for you as a feeling when you hear those 2 words? Purple Rain. Just so beautiful. The title alone, Purple Rain. And so I'm trying to stall a little bit because I would love to hear a couple of comments of what you think Purple Rain means before I jump in and start sharing. But we're going to keep moving, and we'll see as the comments come up. So Purple Rain combines, let's see. All right. So Patty says Purple Rain was our high school homecoming theme and song. I love that. So hearing the song takes me back to that era. And I wonder, Patty, did everybody have to wear purple? And did you wear something purple for homecoming? So Purple Rain is an imagery that combines several themes. Red is symbolic of blood or sacrifice. Blue symbolized the heavens to Prince, and together they created purple, which represented, according to Prince, the idea of transformation, spirituality, and redemption. And so the rain in Purple Rain is really about life's trials and uncertainties. It relates to the things that cannot be controlled. And so according to Prince, Purple Rain is like the difficult period that we all must walk through. And it's about relying on love and faith rather than fear. And so even though Prince did not want to explain his songs ever, the only definitions that he gave is when there's blood in the sky, red and blue equals purple. Purple rain pertains to the end of the world and being with the one you love and letting your faith in God guide you through the purple rain. So he viewed the purple rain not as literal, but as spiritual and symbolic of storms. So I really love that interpretation. And it's not one that I myself would have understood or come up with. I think I used to believe that purple rain was maybe the idea of like tears, you know, heartbreak and loss, that when you cry tears, and he loved purple. So I looked at it like purple tears or crying or something like that. So, but that's okay, right? Like that's the beautiful thing about poetry is maybe that's what Prince talked about. Maybe that's what he thought about and what I think about and what you think about. That's the beautiful thing about music and poetry and lyrics is that it's going to be there to connect you to yourself, your memories, your ideas, your imagination, your thoughts, your interpretations. And that's the beautiful thing about art, which we cannot let die on the vine. We have got to be more active and engaged with keeping our brains alive and connected to art for these very reasons. And so all of these interpretations of Purple Rain, all these memories, all these beautiful memories, right? And so unlike a traditional love song, I think what makes this song so extremely timeless is the openness for interpretation, and it can be felt and heard and seen as maybe a farewell or a prayer or a confession of some kind or a hymn of hope. And so I think this song intentionally leaves all that room for listeners to bring their own experiences, which really is like, it explains why this song continues to endure. And I'm glad to see Candy is here, my friend Candy from Las Vegas, because she is one of the biggest Prince fans I know. And so I was glad to see that you're here, Candy. And the song always makes me emotional too, absolutely. And so this song has been played at weddings and funerals and all kinds of things. And so it leaves it open. And depending on the listener, the you in the song, which we're going to talk about when we get to the lyrics, could be a romantic partner. It could be humanity. It could be God. And the interpretation that I'm going to go with, I think, is the idea of one's self. And so when we start to unpack this song, I want you to think about it and put whether you think the song is about a romantic partner or about humankind or about God or self, or maybe you have another interpretation that you believe the song is tied to. But it really is one of those beautiful songs. And it did win an Academy Award as part of the soundtrack. And true to Prince's beautiful spirit, he often closed his shows with this song because he extended that sort of guitar solo searing and soaring across the audience. He wanted to generate that communal, spiritual experience rather than just being a concert finale. And so I can attest to that. I think when I saw him the third time, it was 15 minutes of just sweat and guitar and love, and everybody was like swept up in the purple current of this song. It was absolutely magnificent. So without further ado, let us get going into the beauty and magic of Purple Rain by Prince.
Calls you in trouble. I never meant to cause you any pain. I only wanted one time to see you laughing. Only want to see you laughing in the purple.
All right, so the song opens up with, I never meant to cause you any sorrow. Almost like an apology and an admission. And it does have a hint of regret. I never meant to cause you any pain. And so this is somebody coming to somebody else, whether it's one's self or God or a lover or romantic partner. And I only wanted one time to see you laughing. And that's so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. So it's like an admission of hope and sadness all in a single line, where I only wanted one time to see you laughing in the purple rain. And it's just such a beautiful, heartbreaking, yet acknowledgement of passing time and regret, and still a lot of love. And so this is like, if I'm going with the interpretation of one's self, I only wanted to see you laughing in the purple rain. It's like, we need more joy in this life. We need more happiness in this life. And we can be so cruel to each other and ourselves. And so if I were to say, hey, I never meant to cause myself any sorrow or pain, and, maybe I should be thinking about one time giving myself a chance to laugh, and not just laugh, but to laugh in purple rain. That's so beautiful, just so gorgeous. All right, let's go to the next one.
I only wanna be some kind of friend. Yeah, yeah. Baby, I could never stand you from another. Such a shame my friendship had to play.
Oh, just so gorgeous. It's so heartbreaking. I'm so emotional looking at him and hearing him sing. And thank you. The comments, before we get to the next lyrics, Candy says that Prince played Purple Rain during the Super Bowl halftime show in the pouring rain, and it was epic. Oh my God, how fantastic. I'm going to go watch that YouTube tonight. I do remember that, but now that you said that, I'm going to go back and watch it. And Darius shares that his home was open to other artists in the community to jam on his home stage. That's just beautiful. Barry shares, it's so hard not to cause yourself pain. I agree. I think we cause ourselves more pain than others do sometimes. So that to me is kind of why I wanted to interpret this song in that way. But let's see what the lyrics reveal. So I never wanted to be your weekend lover. And that to me is like somebody who's only half in, like they're not really committed, and they show up when they want to show up, and they're not there for the hard stuff. They're not there for the real day-to-day stuff. And so never wanting to be your weekend lover is like, I wanted to be more and be by your side through the real stuff in life. And so he says, I only wanted to be some kind of friend. And that's just gorgeous to me, just really, really beautiful. I wanted to be some kind of friend. And so this is a way of offering gentle acknowledgement and love. And so if we think about this, depending on how you're interpreting it, if you're thinking of this as a relationship, maybe this is a boyfriend or girlfriend that you once had, and maybe this song strikes that chord when you hear it about a breakup. That would really make sense too. I only wanted to be some kind of a friend. Baby, I could never steal you from another. And so what this means to me is that it's like acknowledging that with time, when we move apart or grow apart from one another, the way time does in relationships, that we drift apart, and that urge to want to go back together, to go back to the thing that you know you shouldn't go back to. But sometimes the heart has its own desires that we cannot resist. But being respectful, I could never steal you from another. I would never step in and disrupt your life once you have moved on. And it's such a shame our friendship had to end. And so this is like the ultimate heartbreak in the song, I think, is somebody that you deeply care about and love and have such high hopes for and such desire to be with, but because of circumstances, you cannot. And when the romance part of you as a couple or as a pair goes away, so does that part of friendship. I've never been able to really be friends with past boyfriends. I mean, I've tried, and it's cordial and everything, but let me tell you, it is not the same. And I am not going to call my old boyfriend and have conversations about my new boyfriend. So it makes it a little complicated. But this little paragraph, to me talks about just wanting to be big parts of somebody's life and wanting to be there for them and being respectful that time goes on and acknowledging the death of the friendship that becomes part of that separation. Just so beautiful. All right, let's go to the last part.
We all reach out to something new, and it means you're too. You say you want a leader, but you can't seem to make up your mind. I think you better close it, honey, you better close it. And it's got to, and it's got to do the preparation. Say it.
Oh man, he was just so passionate. And I think the end of the song here is probably like the hardest and the saddest. And I think the part of the song that makes it the most resonant and enduring. And so, like I was alluding to earlier when I talked about acknowledging that the friendship goes on and, you transition away from one another, this is exactly what I think he's saying here. I know times are changing. It's time we all reach out for something new. That means you too. And so maybe we've had people that we still love. And even though we still love them, we have to acknowledge that the time has come to part ways. And, maybe one of the people has a harder time with that than the other. And so this is a beautiful way of saying, I understand you may have a hard time with this, but you too are going to have to try to find something new. And then he says, you say you want a leader. Now, that's a really interesting line. You say you want a leader, like as opposed to not being, you don't want to be the one leading all the time. You don't want to be the one taking charge in the relationship all the time. You don't want to be the one making all the decisions all the time and holding everything together all the time. How many of us have been the one to hold everything together in the relationship? And so that's what that alludes to me, is you say you want a leader, somebody else who can take charge and take care of things. But you can't seem to make up your mind. And so do you want somebody who is going to make all the decisions, or is that something you just say you think you need, but it's not really who you are? And so you can't seem to make up your mind. It's just a beautiful, beautiful line.
Look.
And then he says, I think, oh, hold on one second.
Well, I'm sure it'll turn out all right.
That was weird. My TV just came on for no apparent reason other than it wanted to. But you can't seem to make up your mind. So I just love that he gives grace here. And then he says, I think you better close it, meaning stop overthinking all these choices and things you say you want, but you probably don't really want. Mixed messages here. So just give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. Stop debating. Stop fighting yourself. Stop arguing with yourself. Stop trying to overthink this. And so beautiful. Let me guide you to the purple rain. And with that image, putting out a hand and saying, come on, we've had such heartbreak. We've had such struggles, and we're trying so hard, and we know that times are changing. We know we need something new, but for now, I just want to see you one time laughing in the purple rain. And so he doesn't say it here, but that line is what that infers, is let me guide you to the purple rain so that I can have that one moment to where we were together and we were letting life be felt and received in joy and laughter in the purple rain. So beautiful. Let me guide you to the purple rain. Just so gorgeous. Thank you, Prince, wherever you are. Thank you so much for such a beautiful song. So, it just makes me so sad. He was such a genius. Such a good soul. A good soul. So, purple rain, the words definitely have different meaning. Just having talked about them tonight, I think I'm going to think a lot about laughing in the purple rain and what that means and how to do that or how to create that or how to give that a shot. Give me a shot. Let myself laugh in the purple rain. Life is heavy right now. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and there's a lot we can't change or fix, but we can give ourselves those brief moments, 1 or 2 moments, the one time to see ourselves laughing in the purple rain. So what is your purple rain? That's a question I'm going to leave you to ponder. What is your purple rain? We talked about it a little bit, but maybe it means something else to you. So I'm going to think about that. I'm going to think about what my purple rain is, and I'm looking forward to hearing what yours is too. So thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday on Vinyl Poetry Lounge. I've had such a good time. Thank you, truly, Daria, Barry, Cheryl, Patty, for your comments, Candy, for being here with me and engaging and sharing with me what you think and what you feel. And so excited that each and every time we're here, we get this time together. Oh, and hi, Gulia. Didn't see you. Thank you. Glad you're here too. All right, so that's it. Vinyl Poetry Lounge. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next Sunday at the same time. I appreciate it. And together we're going to do a little bit of laughing and dancing in the purple rain. Good night. Thank you for joining me for this week's show of Vinyl Poetry Lounge. I'm your hostess, Jana Lopez. Keep your vinyl spinning and poetry flowing till we meet again next time.